What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Phlox'em and our road to Vegas. We're on week 3 here, trying out one we haven't featured too much yet, but it is one I've played in other things. This is Orbibet Harris Cursor Crocag. Amber Sky's deck. This is the one I played at the last KFC Open. Went 4-2 with it. It's a deck I love. I really enjoy playing this. It's interesting. It kind of so it has the Crepuscular Rays. It does not have Veil of Ectoplasm, but it has like 14 capture pips, I think. So it's just capturing all over the place. Double Worm Tunnels to make good use of those. Also has 2 Ixnru the Clevers, Ixrenews with one, the Saucer, but the Stealth modifications especially is super good on there. I don't think this is the hand we want to start with, though. Still not quite the hand we want to start with, although this Mars is super tempting. We're just going to go ahead and get our daughter down. Actually, this is not a bad Mars start. We get the taunt, we get the stealth mods for these 3. We still ditch the Saucer. We can see what kind of creature control they have. Mind over Matter, pretty scary. There it goes already. They've got Auto Autopsy going. So the Mind over Matter's gone. What else do we have? Goalless, Groupthink, Wild Wormhole, Snippy. So if I protect it from Snippies, maybe we're actually totally fine playing that. Let's be greedy. This is a pretty good Mars start, so we'll take it. So we're gonna do number. I want to do this. Simwix. Oh, I already did it wrong. I should have done the Saucer first. That's all right. Because we probably should have saved this from Snippy too. But if we find the Crepuscular Rays, it's still fine. We didn't. And this just actions to move it to another creature, so there's still a chance we get to dump most of this Amber if they start playing creatures, which again, their deck seems like a lot of creatures. So this is not really one I'm super worried about. It might be a little bit of a grindy game, and we have to be careful about them getting too many creatures on the board, but I mean, this start is insane for this deck, so we'll ride it out. Tricky with this deck, you've got not a ton of creature control. 2 of them is Connectomes, and this one having the double discard pips is actually really tough. That can be really bad for you sometimes. And then we've also got the Kaboom, and then Energy Vampirism can do a little bit too, depending on what kind of deck they're playing. But okay, so they're going Geistoid, so this could be a couple Snippies. Hallowed Eve for nothing. Discard Snippy, yeah, to kill the Ixrenew. That's unfortunate. Discard second Snippy to remove the ward from the Saucer. And they might just not play creatures here. Should be unfortunate. Yeah, not my favorite. Yeah, so this is where I did sequence playing those creatures wrong, which is just unfortunate. What I planned to do was Saucer, Simwix, Ixrenew, and then ward. I probably might not have still warded the Ixrenew. That's a tough one. This land still isn't amazing, but they don't have much creature control. So we'll go ahead and go Logos here. We'll get the daughter back down. Oh, I always forget this has versatile too. That's pretty fantastic. Reap. We'll discard Ponder for a Worm Tunnel. That's great. Yeah, we'll go ahead and scoop one off there. I mean, them burning the Mind over Matter turn 1 was probably about the best thing we could have seen. That's really their only true board clear. And this does get a pretty scary board if you let it sit here. We always find the in here somewhere too early in this deck. It's just the nature of this deck. you draw in here somewhere in your starting hand or net close to it, pretty much regardless. And there's only one. It is double capture pip, so you definitely want it with the Crepuscular Rays, but here we are. Okay, Buck's Bastion's going to exalt the daughter. Let's see if they have a kill for it. Not in Skyborn. Unless they have some damage pips. Save port. Against all flags still only gets them one. And yeah, so they're gonna try to keep creatures off the board, which is fair. We go where's here. Get close to check, but not quite there. Geistoid is actually not terrible either. Because we get to mill a lot. Let's go call Geistoid. We'll keep trying to protect. Actually, we don't want to play this on the same side, or on the opposite side of this, because that will give them another against all flags. Go ahead and dump the Crimson Dax. This, we'll get rid of the all hands. We're not haunted yet, so this doesn't do a whole lot for us. And just capture on Simwix. Reap. Reap, discard this. We'll reap, and then we'll keeping. Just gonna do the Simwix. We'll hold on to this in here somewhere since we're pretty close, and there's the Crepuscular Rays. No red line in here, so the eddies will need to come down to tax, and that lets us start doing stuff with Saucer. Yeah, I mean, this deck just is one of the issues you can run into with TOC. You can find a lot of Amber control and stuff, but you just can lose creature control so fast. Group think is a little tough for us to move. We just have to fight it twice, unfortunately, but I think we're okay with that at this point. Yeah, that'll be in Mars. Let's drop X renew. Sequence that poorly. Should have done the action here first. But honestly, I never have Saucer on the board with this deck, so I am not super used to using it. It's good to play with it on here because I would have forgotten it even had Versatile. That's how little I actually play it. This will probably be another against all flags. Or maybe another Buck's Bastion. Yeah, there's against all flags, but it's still not for full value here, which is great for us. I need to start figuring out what my like optimal turns are though. Like kind of feels like it can do anything. So we go 3. We can auto autopsy with a Skippy and draw. We're not killing this though. I think we can let him go a little bit higher on Amber. Can we kill this? No, nothing's warded anymore. I should probably stop being too greedy here. So we'll go ahead and Junk Restoration. We'll put it there. I don't really feel like we need any of these, actually. I should probably just take the Kaboom so we have it. We'll go ahead and Energy Vampirism. We'll discard Skippy to use this to blow up the Harvest Skimmer. Kill that. Go ahead and Reap, discard the Watneys. Snag this off there. And yeah, we'll go ahead and hold on to those. And just purging my own stuff there, because like that was more just about the discard than the purge. I'm not really worried about purging their stuff too much. Soul Tender does a little bit here, and they get some elusive dudes, but elusive is actually better for Simwix at this point. This is why we kept the Kaboom though, just in case they're able to get a board that we can't really deal with. These Corsairs, still not going to do crazy stuff here. There's my Met to archive the Titan. I mean, we could just Kaboom. Backup plan, that stuff doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Yeah, I like Mars, because the splash damage can do a lot here. So, let's go ahead and fight here. We'll put the capture there. There. Yeah, that was dumb. I actually probably should do this turn now since I'm not going to actually have too much captured amber. Go Logos though. Yeah, they got to stop the key with the eddies. But this stuff coming down just gives my Mars more ammo. Ooh, groupthink is a little bit scarier. I'll just power to gain 4. Destroy the Corsair. Okay. I think we do the Geistoid turn here. Do some archiving. Go ahead and get this guy down. Let's reap to toss. Backup plan at this point is fine, so we're capturing everything here now. So we'll capture, archive, ghoul keeping and junk. Let's oh, I gotta remember. That doesn't work that way. Now we'll go ahead and purge. Oh, they don't have any of those either. Okay, so fairly dominant performance in this game 1. But yeah, that Mars start was crazy, and with them not having much creature control and having burned it really early on, they were going to have a really tough time coming back from especially that stealth mods. Because they did have, that was the crazy thing, is after we did that, they had the double snippy. So if we didn't have the stealth mods there, we would have lost more. I mean, in that place, we don't play the saucer, I guess, if we don't have the stealth mods. It's possible I would have been greedy and still played it, but usually with this deck, I'm not playing it unless I'm fairly confident there's no way they can get off the board the next turn. Because we don't have any intentional discharges in this deck. That's the one thing about this Mars. You have double Ix renews, but you have no way to ready them on the turn that you play them. But what's sneaky is the Simwix having the Geistoid pip with the ghoul keeping. That can do some really nice amber control. Sneaky amber control. All right, so there you go. That is Orbivette. So again, I love this deck. It's very, very fun to play. It does take some thinking in certain matchups to really get the most out of your capture pips, making sure your Crepuscular Raise is actually doing enough. Because you have to have creatures, and that's one of the really tricky things about this is in actual Geistoid, you only have 3 creatures. We do have another one from the Simix the Bold having that, but like you can very easily get caught in situations where you don't have creatures on the board for the Crepuscular Rays to actually fire. So you might just end up with a bunch of these capture pips and nothing to do with it. So you have to be careful about that. The backup plan is really, really nice though, very fun, because this is a deck that like normally is getting outboarded. I will say that. Like what we just did is very rare. The only time I build a board is with stealth modifications, and usually it's just a couple creatures sitting there, unless I get lucky and can like purge some of their creature control with the Horoscope. Or is there? There's one hunting deck, yeah, but we had that early. So yeah, we'll play maybe a couple more with this one. I definitely enjoy playing it, so it's fun. It does have holes, and I think I want to play it more to kind of remember or see what those are and see if they are as big of an issue with the decks that'll be played kind of to counter PV. So we'll see. Thank you so much for watching, hanging out. Please give a like or a comment or whatever, and we'll see you next time on Phlox'em.